Greetings, everyone. This is Payman, the host of the Leads What podcast. Today, I have another incredible, wonderful, beautiful guest of mine, a wonderful friend that I get to connect over a year and a half, 2 years ago. Sorry, a year and a half ago, because we were in the same multi-authored book back in February of 2022, Sacred Surrender, with my wonderful publisher, Mary Gooden, and got to connect and know this wonderful lady, this bundle of joy, because she's all about joy, all about happiness. Look at her. She's glowing. She's all the smileys behind her. You know, when whenever yesterday we had a call with Mary, the publisher, and other contributors for my book, and we're talking about messaging. I said I absolutely love receiving messages from you because your message is full of happiness. There's more happy emojis in your messages than words. I thought I was the guy that was way too using way too many emojis, but you really blew me out of the water, and absolutely love the vibe, energy. She's amazing. She is the personification of joy, happiness. Her name is Amanda Lindsey. You're in Sedona, right?
Oh, not right now. I will be in a couple of weeks for a visit. I'm in Louisiana right now.
Oh,
That's where
beautiful
I live.
Louisiana. Yeah. Okay. So,
Oh
anyways,
yeah.
we connected, and phenomenal lady. We've been in one book together with Mary, and hopefully this one, she's going to be also one of the contributors for volume number 2 of my book. So, very much looking forward to that. She's all about, I love what she's doing because her entire brand is about spreading and sharing happiness. Her entire motto is S.H.A.P.E, sharing happiness across planet Earth. I mean, how much more beautiful than that does it get as a mission and vision statement for any business? That's the most beautiful ones I've ever heard, and I've come across on my podcast over the last 3 years, and almost 300 phenomenal guests. She's right there. If there was any awards, I would give her the happiness award because she's all, I mean, look at her. She's glowing. Look at the smileys behind her. Look at that beautiful, warm, contagious smile. Anyways, without any further ado, Amanda, welcome back to the show, my dear friend.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, Payman. So excited.
Pleasure.
It's been a while, but it's been
Yes.
love. So happy to see you again, and I'm very excited to be part of your new book. I think it's going to be amazing.
Oh yes, it will be. It will be, and I can't wait. I'm honored. I'm blessed. I'm humbled. I'm grateful to have you with us, and I can't wait to read your story. I can't wait. Let me check something here. Let me quickly.
Do it.
Wow, amazing, amazing. So we're gonna be. I'm really grateful to have her here. So welcome again to the show. And Amanda, for people who don't know you, over and beyond the very little introduction I gave about you, who's Amanda as a person, as a human being, as a woman? We're gonna talk about your business and the impact you're doing later on. But first, as a person, as a human being, as a woman, who's Amanda?
Oh my goodness. Ugh. Amanda is an explorer. She loves
Mm.
she loves life and she loves to explore, and she wants to travel the world physically, but right now she's doing it virtually because of all the wonderful things that she's been able to do to spread happiness, and has brought her all over the world,
Yeah,
meeting so many people.
absolutely. Can't wait to actually meet in person. Hopefully, either Mary or myself, or we're gonna host an event to all of the people from the book, from the podcast, from our books together, and meet in person. I'm very much looking forward to that. Maybe that's something for next year, for 2024. Just putting it out there.
Oh, that would be amazing. I would love it. I want to meet as many of the authors as I can, and I've, I've been wanting to meet you forever after seeing all your podcasts and listening to the ones that I have. You're just amazing. So I want to give you a big hug.
Same here. Same here. Absolutely, absolutely. Tell us, what makes you happy as a person? So, sorry, let me rephrase that. To start first, I would like to ask you a series of rapid fire questions to further get to know you as a person. Ready?
You got it.
All right.
I'm here.
What makes you happy?
Oh, other people being happy. I love that.
Oh,
That
yeah,
fires me up.
I can see that. What makes you, that's a question you will like. What makes you smile?
Ooh, what makes me smile? Nature. I
Mm,
love sun. Um, if I was a morning person, sunrises would be making me smile, but I'm sleeping, can't do the sunrises. But
The
oh
sunsets.
man, sunsets just make me smile. Um, I love just beautiful trees and flowers and just watching animals, everything.
Mm,
Mother Nature.
absolutely love that. Now, let's take the happiness factor a couple of notches higher. What makes your heart sing? What makes your soul set on fire?
Oh man. Um, Honestly, just making people smile. That is just a it's just a thing. I know it's so simple, but just being able to walk into a room and, flash my little smile and people are like, "Hey," I'm just like, "Yay!" It's awesome. The smiles are contagious, man, and every every little bit more just it just lights me up more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Smiles for mine.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, what makes you sad and angry?
Um, what makes me sad and angry? When people are fighting. I just it just makes me sad seeing that because I just feel that we can always find a solution. We can always agree to disagree. There's really no reason to hate or fight.
Mhm.
It's, just let each other be who we are
Mhm.
and enjoy what we can. And if things bother us, just say agree to disagree.
Exactly, absolutely. What scares you?
Oh my goodness. Hmm. I would have said a fire, but I've been through one, so that been through it and made it. Probably having that happen again. That would scare me a lot.
What happened?
That was a let's see, in September of 2021. So yeah, just about 2 years ago, we had a house fire. It was crazy because we had just had a hurricane in Louisiana, and I was on the phone calling people, letting them know we were okay from the hurricane. We just had a tree that fell, but it fell like in the yard or something, so it didn't, affect us.
Thank God.
And and then we ended up having a house fire that night. We had a candle outside
Yeah.
that left burning, and my dad didn't realize it. And I had gone into my room. My mom, who at the time she had just broken her leg, she was in her bedroom. Um, and my nanny, who was staying over because of the hurricane, was in another room with her cats. And then all of a sudden, I smelled something, and I was like, I thought it was, something in the kitchen. My dad was cooking, and so I went into the kitchen. I rolled around in my wheelchair, and I was like, Dad, what's up? He was nowhere to be found. And all of a sudden, I look and out the door of my kitchen, their big old fireball like flame came through, and I was just like, I was stunned, and all I
Wow.
could do was yell fire. That was all I was doing. And um my mom heard, and somehow my nanny heard, and I rolled in. I got my mom. She was hobbling on one leg, pushing my wheelchair, dragging the dog. I don't know how we made it out the house. It was super intense. But my dad ended up getting burned. He Not from the flames, it was the heat that burned him. But he ended up going to a burn unit and was there for a couple months and doing rehab and stuff. But today it's amazing how much has improved since we just moved into our new house. Um, my dad is back working. It's amazing the recovery he's made, and just everything is increased so much since then.
Beautiful. Thank God that you guys made it out of it. Wow. Amazing.
It was it was intense and
Sure.
not an you know not a joke for sure.
So was the house, were you guys able to save the house by calling the firefighters or?
We called, the house burned down. We still have the property. We're trying to sell off the property, but we bought a new house in a new subdivision.
Wow. Wow. You know, this kind of thing you think is not gonna never gonna happen to you. It's only in the movies, but then when it happens, it really shakes you up. It really wakes you up to the core and makes you realize,
Oh,
wow, absolutely. It shows you that anything can be taken away like this.
absolutely. And to be honest, it was so surreal because, when all I had was the clothes on my back, and
Mm,
I was shirt and some pants, but immediately I got outside and I looked down, and my pants, I don't know if you're familiar with the brand Life is Good.
no,
It's a brand of clothing, a high positive kind of, sayings on t-shirts and things, but it just had Life is Good on my pants, and I looked down and I was like, oh my God, absolutely, life is good. It was just that moment, it was just like I'm alive. And
yes.
when you go through something like that, every day and moment after that is so precious and so beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
You know, they say every moment that every day that you wake up, it's a blessing, it's a gift, it's a present. That's why the present is called present, and the real sense and the figurative sense, it's a gift. The present is a gift. So we need to make the most of it. The fact that you're able to breathe, to walk, to live, whatever, those are things to be tremendously grateful for.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. There were days there were days with my health situation where all I could do was open my eyes, and just that fact that I could open my eyes, that was that was enough. I knew. I'm like, well, I'm here. And that's the same thing, I don't know how we got out that house. There was like angels because, I couldn't walk. My mom was hobbling, don't know, but you know, we're still here, so there's a reason. And
Absolutely.
I, I'm making the best of it every minute I got.
That's what it's all about. Grateful to have you here with us. And yeah, yeah, it was quite intense. Wow. Well, let's move on. Let's talk now about something more happy. And tell us. I have a feeling that I know the answer to that, but I will still ask you that question. What is your
Okay.
number one personal superpower?
Oh, my smile, baby. My
I
smile.
know, I know. And making others smile and happy. Exactly. Love that. Speaking of that, speaking of smiling, when was the last time that you really had a really hearty smile? That you laughed so much that your cheeks were hurting, you had stomach and rolling in pain, but of happiness and joy. That kind of laugh.
Oh my goodness.
Got almost tears coming, when you laugh so much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh God, I can't remember right offhand, but I know it's been recent. I know it's been recent because I laugh at almost everything. I really do. I got, things make me laugh really easy. I'd have to say probably some of the things that my cat has been doing lately is he's insane. He'll like he'll be sleeping You'll be sleeping, and then all of a sudden you look and he's like zooming across the room and running into things, and I'm just like, and start laughing. So yeah, it's been pretty recent. It's probably him.
Do you think, buddy? Don't mind me.
Pretty much.
Amazing, amazing. Now, let's talk. You like traveling, right?
Yes, I do.
All right, let me take you down a different type of traveling down memory line. Go back to when you were growing up as a young girl. When we're kids, people around us, family, friends, relatives, teachers, neighbors always ask us, "Hey, Amanda, what do you want to become when you grew up? What was your answer to that question as a little girl?
Oh, I had two. Okay. I had two for different three for different reasons. Okay. So or timelines. I wanted to be either a teacher or a social worker.
Oh,
And then and honestly in my professional life I've been able to do both. So that's pretty freaking awesome. And then I had clarified, I said, for my old person job, I want to be a greeter at Walmart. I just I I would have loved every time I go into Walmart, the people wearing the vests and they're just like, "Hi, how you doing today?" I'm like, "That's a perfect job." I'm like, "I want to do that."
spreading smiles, Yeah, absolutely. And giving him one of your cards.
Yes,
We'll talk about it in a moment. Okay. Growing up, what was your relationship with school? Did you love school or did you hate school?
I loved it to a point, and then kind of it kind of sucked the life out of me at one point in time because I went from a certain type of school to a Catholic school. And the Catholic school was very rigid and harsh and just kind of sucked the joy out of my life. And so when I went back to the private school, it um, life got better. So it was a kind of a roller coaster,
Mm.
a
What
lot to do with my health. So like when things were good, I enjoyed it a lot more. When I wasn't real healthy, it sucked pretty much. you know.
what was your favorite subject in school growing up?
Oh, English and biology.
So you liked dissecting frogs?
Oh yes, loved it. Loved.
Ah, cool, cool. What was your least favorite subject?
I would say math and chemistry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I
Same.
liked I liked playing with the chemicals and stuff. I really just didn't understand it, but I mean, I think it was most just challenging and not really something I was interested in. But I like the labs. That was fun.
Mm. Imagine we were in the same class in grade 10, 11. What kind of student were you? Were you the shy one, the quiet one, the nerdy one, the chatterbox, the superstar, the life of the party? What kind of student were you back then?
well, see, I've always been very outgoing. Um, the high school, high school, I would say I was pretty nerdy. I was yearbook, very much the yearbook, going around taking pictures of everybody. So I was very outgoing, but it was very much in a nerdy sort of way.
Were you popular with the boys in school?
Had a lot of boyfriends. Yeah,
Oh
more
wow.
friends because I had a I had a steady boyfriend towards the end of high school, but lots of guy friends. Always have been real tight with my guy friends.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now moving forward. Sorry, tell us, what was your very first job? And do you remember how much you get paid the first time you worked, even if it was for a little job?
Yeah, actually, I worked for a nature center,
Mm,
and I started working when I was 14 because I volunteered there when I was 12, and I managed to create my own position and have them pay me at 14 for doing assisting the people who were getting paid the salaries. They were called education naturalists, and basically what we would do is do presentations about plant life, animal life that were native to Louisiana. So we'd go to schools, we would go to just various groups. We'd bring animals. We'd have alligators, we'd have snakes, we'd have the owl, the possum, really, really cool things. And just, you know, talk to everybody and have them learn about nature and how beautiful it is. And I'd like to say I got paid 5.50 an hour.
Okay. Okay.
Mileage. So I
Yeah,
actually made money driving a car, which was kind of crazy because you don't make mileage these days, really.
for sure. Um, let's move forward. Let's talk about your path from the moment you left school to now. How would you describe it? Would you say it was pretty much straightforward, smooth sailing? Once you get into one lane, you were set for life, or was it more like turns and twists, like a roller coaster?
Lots of twists and turns. Lots of twists and turns, up and down, circles, all sorts of things. I started in the realm of biology. I really wanted to work at zoos and educate and work with the animals at the zoo.
Mm,
Uh, but then I really, really was interested in English and writing. So that kind of changed some things. And then I got really interested in the animals of people and how people interact with one another. And so I ended up becoming a sociology major, and I have a biology minor. So I kind of did them both, but just, a little bit differently. Um, People fascinate me. Uh, they are the most mysterious animals, I think, of the animal kingdom, and learning and watching how they interact with one another is just fascinating to me. Cultures, different, geographical locations, how people do things, and
mm.
um, just I love learning about people. And so I went from, animal behavior like the furries and the reptiles to the animals of people. So same line, just, a little bit twists and turns here and there.
Yeah, it makes life more interesting, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Beautiful. Now, you know the saying that says, change your story, change your life. And by story, I mean what you tell yourself all day long in your head. So when you're, Amanda, were in some of your darkest, lowest, most challenging times in your life, how did you change your story internally to change your reality externally?
Wow. Okay. Um, how did that story? Okay. One of my very dark times obviously was during the fire and during the recovery period. And what helped me to get out of that kind of um dark, phase or whatever was thinking about the things that I did have,
Mm,
because when you lose everything, you kind of starting from scratch.
mm,
And when you can start thinking about all the things you do have, even if it's just one thing to start with, it starts to you start to snowball upward. You get more
sure.
positive. So,
Absolutely.
just kind of, waking up and saying, all right, where am I today? And, how is it different, better than yesterday? And then moving forward that way.
Totally. Absolutely. One day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time. Absolutely.
Yes. And it's amazing too when you're in that situation of dire straits where you really don't have things, the miracles that you see are just amazing, because the people that come together to do, just people you don't even know, that will just offer, you know buying lunch, or donating gift cards, or the donations we had were absolutely phenomenal. Like, I swear I built a wardrobe from the donations. Like, I mean, there's still clothes from the donations that I'm wearing now. I mean, it's people were just so generous. And you talk about, or many people talk about, how society and people are just mean and harsh and things are so hard. And it's true if you look at it that way. And when you're kind of at a rock bottom point, and you can see all the beautiful things that are happening and that people are doing, it's just it's a perspective shift. It really is. And when you're at a point, I guess, that you can appreciate, you tend to appreciate everything, and everything's a miracle, you know?
Absolutely. Sometimes the most, I mean, nothing is random. Everything happens for a reason. Even sometimes random people just show up in the most unexpected ways and do things that leave you speechless. So,
I have to say, one of the best things that has come out of the fire is my relationship now. I have been in a 2-year relationship with the fire investigator of our
wow.
fire.
See, I wanted to ask you a question earlier, but I didn't dare because I think it might not be appropriate. And I said, in life, we both know that everything happens for a reason, for a higher purpose, even though at the moment it might be very hurtful. So I wanted to ask, the first thing that came to mind, I want to ask you, so what do you think the fire was trying to teach you? What was the lesson for you to learn to that? Or what was the higher purpose? I didn't want to ask it, but now that you said that, do you think the fire was a way to connect the two of you? Because literally the fire of passion coming together, you know what I mean?
It did. And it was very interesting because we were both at a point where we were just not engaging in relationships or even trying. It was just like single, not even thinking about it. If it happens, it happens, that kind of thing. And it just happened, and it was fantastic. So that's a beautiful silver lining that has come from the fire for sure.
Absolutely. And I can say that that man is a very lucky man to have you, the personification of happiness, joy in his life. You're a blessing, you're a gift, and now you're blessing his life as well. And I'm sure he's blessing your life as well in his ways. So everything happens for a reason. The right person comes in the most unexpected ways.
No kidding. I never could have imagined, for sure.
That reminded me of a movie. I forgot the name. There was the start of the first scene was a man and a woman get in an accident. They start yelling at each other, talking, and exchange information, insurance information, and long story short, they end up falling in love. You know,
I, I I've seen something like that for sure, and
yeah,
it definitely, you see it in the movies, and you're just kind of like, okay, and
the
it
movie.
does happen. Like, it really
Absolutely.
does.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Maybe you should write a book on that, on how you guys met, and maybe that could be the topic of. I don't know what you're gonna write in this chapter for my book, but maybe, hey, it's about gifts. That could be a gift. It's a big gift.
You're
So,
right.
you know,
It's definitely it's definitely a story for sure. It's gonna be. I know it's a short story. I have it written because I was writing it as it was happening. Like, it started. We start texting, and I talk to my friends, and they're like, well, has he given you a number? Has he asked you out yet? And blah blah blah. And because they were all like rooting for me when I told them about it, because the story is really interesting because it actually involves my Facebook group, Project Shape. He We met at the fire, and he's given the information out and everything. He hands me his business card and says, for the report and all the insurance report. And I'm like, okay, and yeah, I was not at my finest at all.
sure.
I was on the phone itching and complaining to the pharmacy because I needed my medicines. And so I was a hot mess. And he asked, can I go back into the house? Is there anything that you think we can recover? Right. Well, he went back and forth into the house like 4 or 5 times trying to find things for us. And I was like, one of the time he comes back, he's like, do you have a snake or something? And I'm like, no, I had a salamander in a fish tank, and it scared the crap out of him. And I didn't know that the salamander made it. It was alive through the fire. So that was awesome. Well, he goes back into the house and he actually like takes a cup and he saves the salamander. Like he picks it up and puts it in a bucket and then brings the bucket back to me. And I'm just like, oh my God, you saved my salamander. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you've gone above and beyond, come here, bring it in. I want to give you a hug. And he was like, I'm dirty and smoky. I'm not going to do that. And I'm like, no, come here anyway. And so, I give him a big hug and it was a nice hug. I was like, well, this is pretty cool. And then, we go our separate ways or whatever. And then as I get, as you get a new member in your Facebook groups, you get notified of the name. And right. So I see this name and I'm like, where do I know this name from? And then I look in my wallet and I'm like, oh my God, it's the fireman. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna just message him and thank him again because it was really sweet that for everything he did. And so he joined my group and we started messaging through the group. And then he was like, here's my number, text me. And we texted every day. A month later, we went out on our first date and it was crazy. So I was just like, yay.
Wow, that's
So
one of the most beautiful love stories I've heard. Actually, you know what would be fun? Maybe next month, have both of you on the podcast and share that story, how you guys met and get the perspective from both of you,
I'm not sure if you would agree to that, but we'll see. We'll
That's
see.
your job, sister. That's your job. Convince him.
I'll talk about that. I'll see what he thinks.
I mean, no pressure. I mean, if he would do it, that would be
Oh,
phenomenal. If not, no worries.
it would be interesting for sure. It would be interesting.
Wow, amazing. Wow. See, that's what I love about this podcast. We start talking about podcasts and I get to learn about you going to the fire. And then I knew there has to be a much deeper, higher purpose for that. And then look at that. The fire blessed your life with a man, with a wonderful man. So, wow. Amazing. I love that. So now, looking back at all of the challenges you faced in your life, do you see those as beautiful gifts that taught you invaluable lessons?
Absolutely, all of them.
Mm,
One of the main things in I have a presentation that I do. It's called "Finding the Happy in the Crappy," and basically, it's just realizing that every moment, every encounter, every circumstance has value and contributes to your growth and contributes to everything that. And so to embrace it all, because it's it's being human, everything, the experience is beautiful. So it may not be fun, but the experiences are there to be had and to live the fullest. To try and avoid them, it only ends up hurting you, because I mean you repress things obviously, but if you don't really experience something bad fully, it makes it a little bit harder to appreciate fully something good. All of the everything just kind of every experience just embraced is just a beautiful thing.
absolutely. Life. One thing I learned is that God, the universe, life does not punish you. God, the universe do not give you any challenges that you're not capable of of overcoming. You know, I've learned that in so many different ways. You know, whatever happens, it's for your highest, best interest for your growth. You know, as I always like to say, we all have a fair share of, dark times, challenges, hardships, heartbreaks, tragedy. Sure, it hurts a lot when we go to them, but then those become our story. Then our story becomes our gifts. Then our gifts become our duty and responsibility. We both know that life is a school. We come here to learn, grow, and become wiser. But that's only 5% of why we are here. The 95% is taking those gifts, those wisdom, those beautiful lessons, and sharing them with others so we can all collectively rise. And because it's what we are here for, to help each other and do it through whatever means is more familiar with you and more comfortable. For me, it's through speaking and through writing my books and my podcast. For someone else might be through music, painting, dancing, sports, movies, whatever. Found your outlet and share your gifts. This is why ultimately, at least from my humble understanding, why we are here. Another powerful realization I've come across and that completely changed my life, and that has been understanding the tremendous powers of questions and asking the right question. Before that, when something bad happened to me, I asked the wrong question, a disempowering question, which was, why me? What did I do to deserve this? Why? Why is life so unfair? Why? And whine like a little baby, and that's not going to help you in any way. Instead, I learned to ask a much more empowering question, two questions actually. And those are, what is this trying to teach me? What is a lesson for me to learn through this? And that applies to everything. Heartbreak, challenges, even tragedies. Like I will share one very personal story here. I used to be extremely impatient. I used to blow up for no reason. 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, rather, my father got cancer, and then he passed away in the summer of 2021. Sometimes, he was twice my age, and when we would go on walks the previous summer, I had a hard time keeping up pace with him. But then once he got his cancer, he couldn't even go from his bed to the bathroom. I had to carry him on my shoulder, and it would take him 30, 40 minutes just in the bathroom. And I was always, come on, hurry up. We don't have all day long. I was incredibly impatient. And when I replay those scenes in my mind, I want to kill myself because that's not what you're supposed to say. And then it made me realize, hey, wait a second. This is a man that is very sick, potentially dying. That literally opened my heart, allowed me to become much more compassionate, passionate, and understanding. I'm the eldest son in the family. My father was a geologist, archaeologist. May God bless his soul. I was always spoiled. I'm not complaining. But the greatest gift he gave me was just before he ascended, and that was he opened my heart, allowed me to be much more compassionate, patient, understanding. So why I'm sharing this is that even in tragedy, just like what I shared, there's always a silver lining, always a beautiful gift, a blessing in disguise. So if you ask the right question, not why, what did they do to deserve this? Why me? Why do I have to go to this crap, so to speak? No, instead ask you, what is this trying to teach you? What is a lesson for you to learn that? When you ask those questions, you really get to see things for the higher purpose, to see why, because to see the beautiful gift in it. And this completely changed my life. For example, for you, losing your family's home, thank God you guys all made it alive. Sure, it's very painful to lose your house, but then what was that trying to teach you? What was the lesson for you to learn? And all of you guys, I'm sure you learned some very powerful lessons, but the ultimate gift was, hey, the man of your life came out of that fire, literally. So always, if you ask the right question, empowering questions and not disempowering question, that can completely change your outlook, your everything. There's a saying that says it's not what happens to you, but what you make of it. The same thing can happen to two people. One person can be completely devastated, hopeless and suicidal. While the other person just smile and say, okay, bring it on. I'm ready to tackle the challenge.
Absolutely. Perspective is everything. It really is.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing those stories, especially the story of how you met, the love of your life. And as I said, again, reading it again, putting it out there, no pressure to have both of you in the next few weeks, sometime in late October, early November. Hey, side by side, want to hear both of you guys' perspective,
I'll throw it out there and see what he says. Absolutely.
That's your homework, sister.
On it.
All right, awesome. Now, At what point in your life did you realize that you are a spiritual being?
Oh man. Um, hmm, it's a good question. Um, I've always I've always felt that there was something more. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying? Um, I could never put it into words necessarily. I wasn't, can't say I was always searching because that's not the case. But I've definitely, I mean, I feel I'm very empathetic, and I have that gift of, people will talk to me and tell me things, and I can feel what they feel, not to the degree that some people, but I do have, I do have that connecting power, and I can sense that, and always have. But I would say probably when I was at my lowest in my health
Mhm.
situation, because pretty much my body was caving in on me. Um, I was in for a year. I was in bed rest. I could barely move, and my body was moving physically into a fetal position to try to protect me, and it was like hardening, like it would be, you could barely move me. And at that point, when your physical body is not really functioning, yet you're waking up and you're there and you're feeling, and I knew, I definitely knew that there was more to it than just the physical. You know what I'm saying? When your physical's crap, but you're
Sure.
still there, still moving on and traveling, I guess, in my imagination and just things. I knew that, there's just more definitely than the
Absolutely.
physical.
So you mentioned your physical condition. Was it something that you always had, or an accident caused it? What happened?
When I was 15, I had a couple viruses, and the viruses just totally messed up my immune system. And from there, I would have flare ups of severe joint pain and fatigue. And basically, if anybody had a cold or anything like that, I would get sick and experience it a lot longer than anybody else would, because just my immune system was not there. And so, the viruses then, well, I mean, the viruses after that, they went away. They just kind of stayed dormant, and I had issues after that. And then, um, what ended up happening for the how I was bedridden and what my body was kind of caving in on me. I was in the tub, and I had moved wrong, and I had heard like a crack, and then I had hurt my back. Um, not severe, but again, because my immune system, because just everything, my nervous system was experiencing things way more intense than they should have been. And so, I have a bulging disc, but that bulging disc, basically sent my whole body into like hyper nervous shock, is what ended up happening. It was crazy.
Wow. Okay. And how was that change your approach to life, going to all of these challenges?
Well, it definitely has taught me to slow down, to pace myself. I definitely, if you were to meet me when I was 15, you would not see the same person personality wise at all.
Sure.
I was burning the candle at both ends 24/7. I was type A personality to the core. It was, push, push, push. And once I got the goal made or achieved something, it was bam, right on to the next thing, never enjoying anything. It was just push, push, push. And you can't do that when you're sick. And so, or if if you keep doing it, your body's going to tell you to stop at some point. And my body told me to stop, basically. And with the fatigue and the joint pain and not being able to move. And so I eventually listened. I'm a slow learner, apparently, because it would happen, flare up and flare up. And then I just had a flare up that never went away. And so, but I have learned. And since then, life has just been so much more beautiful because I've been enjoying everything.
Do you think this was the universe's way for you to tell you, hey, slow down, girl, slow down. There's more to life than just go, 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 go. That you have a bigger and higher
You're,
purpose.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Because the way I was going, I, I couldn't I couldn't maintain that, and
Mm,
nor did I want to. And there was a brief point where I could see myself not continuing. Um, I never tried to do anything. I never was suicidal because I didn't want to. I didn't want to hurt myself because I was already hurting, physically. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, I don't even. But I could, in my head, I could understand why people do it, and I felt like, with the pain, there was lots of times I felt like I wish it would end and forever end. But um I don't feel that way now, ever again. It's perspective. And um it, the universe definitely has its way of teaching you. And I definitely feel, if you don't listen, it's going to keep doing it, and it's going to keep doing it, whatever the lesson is. It's going to make sure that the next time around it hits you harder and harder until you finally learn. So,
absolutely. What was the fire, the reason, the why that kept you going and not give up in those darkest of darkest moments?
oh man, I just I knew there was more. I knew I was meant for more, and I knew that it wasn't going to last forever.
Mm,
I didn't know how, and I didn't know how long it was going to last, but it definitely, it really wasn't worth ending because I knew there was so much more greatness ahead.
absolutely. Wow. That's for sure. That's for sure. And do you believe now that you're fulfilling your purpose? And first of all, let me ask you, what is your purpose in this lifetime? Question number one. Question number two, do you think you're on the right track in fulfilling that purpose?
Okay, yeah. My purpose is to spread joy and
Mm,
to everyone, to connect everyone through joy, um, to help people realize that happiness all the time. It doesn't matter what it really is because it's within you. It's you. You are
mm,
happiness. We are all, that's what we are. And the more that I can bring that to people, because you can't make anybody happy. That's ridiculous. Nothing can make you happy except yourself. But you can bring joy, and you can bring the opportunity to show people that happiness is there. And it's ultimately up to them. Obviously, it's the choice of the individual. But if I can be that spark that can, flash that smile, give that hug, say, you know what, guys, happiness, and you can find the happy in the crappy. It's there. And I do definitely feel that I'm fulfilling my purpose. I do.
Well, absolutely, absolutely, wholeheartedly, you're doing it, and better than anyone I've known. You're a personification, you're a reincarnation of joy, happiness, so
Oh,
keep doing that. You're a
yeah.
gift yourself, you're a blessing. And yeah, I don't think I've met many more people that are as much inspiring, empowering, and make people happy the way you're doing it. Just the name, whenever I see
Oh,
your name popping up in my messenger, your messages, I know I'm gonna be greeted with a bunch of smileys and seriously, when I see your messages, they bring me just when I see a notification from you, and when I read your message, it gives me a smile. Some people that receive a message automatically, even before reading it, you get a happy feeling. Other people, when you get message from them, you get a feeling of dread, don't want to read it. You just postpone it. You know what I mean? I know you have those people as
yeah,
well, you know?
I do.
So,
Yeah.
so, yeah, so thank you. You're definitely on your path. Keep shining your light. You're amazing. And I'm really honored that we and blessed and grateful that we connected. Everything happens for a
Yeah.
reason and we're meant to connect. So wonderful. Perfect segue. Now, let's talk about your business. Tell us about your impact.
Oh goodness. Okay, so originally, uh, my ideas for coming up with Project Shape, spreading happiness across planet Earth, came kind of through two of the most darkest times for me and for the world. Um, my chronic health issues, and for the world, the pandemic. Basically, I drew connections between the two of my experiences through the my chronic health issues, the isolation, the pain, the unknown, the uncertainty, the oh my god, my life is changing, in an instant. One day I'm, outside giving hugs, playing, and the next day I'm in, lockdown, can't get out. And what I noticed was that, that connection, it made me sad, first of all, that I'm connected in that way. But then, kind of like, when you said with your dad, you were like, you know, oh my God, I really shouldn't feel this way. But then you were like, it opened up your heart to compassion. What it made me realize is that we were connected through all these, horrible human experiences, but I could turn that around and say, through all these horrible experiences, I can give I want to give everybody a hug and a smile. That was my thing. I was like, man, I'm so sad that everybody's just experiencing all this, but I can relate. But I just want to give everybody a hug and smile. And I couldn't because of, the mandates of, air hugs and masks. So the smiles and the hugs, they just weren't there. So I was like, okay, I'm like, I had a dream, and plain as day, everything came out, and it was these really, really cool cards right here.
Wow.
And it says, and you can't really see it, but it says Project Shape, spreading happiness across planet Earth. And it's a little childlike drawing of the earth and different colored hands all around it. And so it's just that childlike innocence of unity and connection. And we're going to spread happiness all over the earth. And that's the front of these cards. And then on the back of the cards, I write handwritten notes, happy messages. Um, it's hugs and smiles because I want to give the hugs and smiles. It's you're awesome. You are awesome. Have a beautiful day. Great job, and thank you. And so these cards are packs of 10, and they're two cards each of each saying, and I put them in a little bag with sparkles and everything. And that was the beginning of Project Shape. Well, the cards didn't come into play until, very interestingly, after I wrote in the book Sacred Surrender. It was basically all about the origin of Project S.H.A.P.E, how it started, and why I wanted to spread happiness across planet Earth, and my frustrations of trying to get there and everything. And well, when our publisher Mary read the chapter, she saw these cards in it and was like, "Oh my goodness, this is a great idea. Let's do it." And I was like, "All right, that's awesome. Let's do it." So I had the Facebook group. My friend had set that up for me and said, this is, why don't you start with this? You can't do the cards really right now. Start with the Facebook group, see what happens. And the Facebook group has been amazing. We're over 800 people right now, and we're 2 years old, and 52 countries are joined together
Wow.
in spreading happiness everywhere. And what's so amazing is that, there are groups of people who never ever would have crossed paths if it weren't for this group. And they've gone from being in this group to being, friends on Facebook in their own, in their own different groups and things. And just that connection that just brings joy to me. In the rapid fire, you had asked about what lights me up. Connection, that's a big thing too. And for me to be able to have connection myself and to foster other people connecting is amazing. It's beautiful. And bridging that gap of the gap of the world, having happiness as being that central connector is just beautiful too. I literally, one of the things I want to do is travel the world. I can't do that physically yet. I'm working on it. I'm traveling in my country, so that's a big thing. I'm actually going on my first airplane ride, not with my parents ever, in like 2 weeks. So
You're going.
that's a big step.
Where
I'm
are you
very
going?
very going to Sedona, Arizona.
Oh,
I've never been, so that should be fun. I'm super excited. It's going to be my first retreat. I've never been on a retreat before, so I've got a lot of firsts and traveling, and definitely planning more travel. But I'm going. I'm working my way. But having this group virtually has allowed me to travel, because I swear there are people that I have consider family all over the world, and it's beautiful. I mean, they've asked me to come and visit and stay, and I'm like, one day I'm going to do it. I'm writing down my list so that I know, planning my itinerary. I know I can stay here, here, and here. It's going to be awesome.
well, let me know when you come to
um
Asia. I will personally make sure to show you the time of your life here.
I love it. I'm there. I hear is it
Kuala
Kuala
Lumpur,
Lumpur? Is that?
or KL in
Yes.
short. KL in short, yes.
AL, here it's amazing. I've seen your pictures. They're just beautiful. And
It
so
is.
yeah, that's definitely on my list for sure. So I've got the Facebook group, I've got the cards. I also whenever I write, so I'm about to do my third book with you, Leaders of Heart. Yay, volume 2. And all my writings are positive, happy, inspiring messages. They may not be necessarily, happy circumstances again, but the lesson. It's always, it's a positive lesson. And so my writings, I like to spread joy that way. Like you, I also love conversation and spreading joy that way. And obviously, the best is in person, when you can have that, face to face and hugs and, that physical contact. But again, technology now has been amazing. That's, one beautiful thing that came out of the pandemic, that really helped me, because when you have, before then, with my health condition, if I couldn't associate with people in the physical, I wasn't associating with people at all, because we didn't do Zooms. We didn't, there Skype was available, but nobody's nobody went on computer to talk to one another. Nobody had FaceTime on their phones. It was, you you went out with people, and if you couldn't, you were by yourself. And so that's one amazing blessing I find from the pandemic, is the technology that has allowed people to connect with one another. Is so beautiful.
Absolutely. Wow, what a story. Have I told you you're a gift? You truly are a gift. The smile, the inspiration, the story, everything about you is the joy, the smiles, the laughter. I mean, you're one of the most inspiring, empowering, and as I like to say, truly goosebump inducing. You have truly goosebump inducing stories. That's what I love about you. And you're truly, seriously, you're inspiring me. You're giving me goosebump right now.
Oh,
Listening to you, seriously, it's such a beautiful. I cannot wait to read your story. I cannot wait. Once I get the actual book, this is volume 1 from last year. When I get my volume 2 in my book, the first chapter I will read is gonna be yours. You know that, because I
oh,
can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah, 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 seriously. Wow. I'm honored. So wow, I'm honored. Thank you. Wow. Um, let's see. Now, let's start to wrap things up. And to finish, I would like to ask you a series of rapid fire questions on advices. Ready?
ooh, okay, you got it.
What would you say has been so far the best piece of advice you've received in your life?
Oh my goodness. Hmm, just do you.
Mm. What has been the worst piece of advice you received so far?
The worst piece of advice. Do as I say, not as I do.
Mm. Yes. Imagine that you were blessed with a time machine. You can go back in time and sit face to face with the 18-year-old Amanda. What's the number one piece of advice you would give to her, knowing all that you know now?
Oh, I would say, girl, keep smiling, because you have amazing things ahead of you.
Yes, yes, yes. I know you don't have your podcast yet, but imagine that you had a podcast today and it's very successful. And today you're interviewing the most special person in the world, and that is yourself. What's the first question that you want to ask yourself? Don't think too much. First question that comes to your mind.
First question. Why are you so happy?
And what is your answer?
Because I'm alive.
Oh, love that. Beautiful. Perfect. Absolutely. Absolutely. The last question I ask you, and that's my favorite question to ask all my guests, and that is, what is the smallest thing you've done in your life? By small, I don't mean something small, I mean the one thing. Does that the greatest, deepest, most profound positive impact on both your life and business? For example, for me, it's been starting my podcast. What about you, Amanda?
Oh, I would definitely say saying yes to writing in Sacred Surrender, because that one yes has led to the hell yes that my life is right now.
Absolutely. It opened a new world to you, just like me. When I finally started to say yes to sharing my podcast on my story on my own podcast, the world opened up to me.
Oh,
Blessing.
absolutely. Personally, professionally, everything.
Yes.
It just,
Yeah. For me, I used to be, believe it or not, painfully shy. I used to be very self-conscious because I'm not a PhD. I don't have any of that. I don't have an audience. And I was also self-conscious because I have a big nose. I don't have a hair. So I was always putting that off. So who am I? Who's going to listen to me? But you know what? I noticed and I realized it's not about me or you, but it's about your message, the gifts that you're sharing. That's what people want. And that's what we're all here for. And once I said yes to that, completely changed my life, not only financially, but also personally. It blessed me with incredible, not just contacts and connection, but beautiful friendships like you, Mary, and other people around the world. We get on calls not to talk or pitch, but hey, how's your family? How's your mother? How's your son? How's this? Just like you would with family or with normal friends, you know. And this is for me the most beautiful gift that business has blessed me with. The wonderful friends around the world.
I have to agree. Just the connections with everyone
Yeah,
has been so, just hits my heart. It really does. I'm just overflowing with
yeah,
gratitude and happiness. It really, I know it's cliche. It really is, but my heart is just so full.
absolutely, absolutely. If someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do so?
Well, Facebook is easy. I also have a website. It's not a, let's see, it's a Wix website, but it's Spreader of Happy. And basically on that site, it has all of the different happy ways and things that I do to promote happiness, to share my message. And so I would love for you guys to check out that website. Hopefully, I think I gave it to you.
Okay,
I'm
yes,
not
I will
sure.
post it in the show note, but can you say it also?
It's a Wix website, and it's the very end of it is Spreader of Happy.
So
So
wix.com/spread of happy.
I believe that's pretty much, it's pretty
Okay.
close to that. Yeah.
I'll put the link to
So
the show
but
notes after. Yes, absolutely.
yeah, that's my website. Other than that, feel free to contact me in Facebook because I'm on there all the time, and that is my messenger's open to everybody
What's
because
your Facebook?
I I want to meet everybody. Hmm?
What's your Facebook?
What's my Facebook? Amanda Lindsey.
All right, I'll put in the show note as well. Listen, Amanda,
Yes.
absolute honor, pleasure, blast that we talked. We've been talking for an hour and a half. The time just flew by. I salute you. You're a true leader with a heart. Keep shining your light. Keep blessing the world with your presence, your impact, your wonderful, contagious happiness and smiles. You're a gift. Keep sharing your gifts. I salute you. You're a true leader with a heart. I'm beyond, beyond, beyond honored to have you in my book, volume number 2. I can't wait till I actually can read your story. Yours will be the first I will read. And yeah, I'll talk to you very soon. Take care. Have a
I
fantabulous
love.
evening. It's pretty late for you. So thank you for your time and looking forward to having you again soon. Take care, my friend. Cheers.
Thank
Bye
you
bye.
so much.
You're welcome. Bye bye.